Thanks for taking time out of your Sunday today. I'm Yvonne Villarreal. I'm a TV reporter with the LA Times. I want to welcome you to SAG Conversations with the cast of Go On. Let's start bringing out the big cast. First, we have Matthew Perry, who stars as Ryan King. Benanti, who stars as Lauren Schneider. She couldn't hear. Laura Benanti. You guys are so loud. John Cho, who stars as Steven. Should I use this? Brett Gelman as Mr. K. Tyler James Williams as Owen. Julie White as Anne. Suzy tongue-tied, Nakamura as Yolanda. It's her birthday today. We're going to sing to her. Sarah Baker as Sonia. Seth Morris as Danny. Last but not least, Tonita Castro as Fausta. I'll let you take that back. Exciting. Well, let's sort of talk about how you came to be involved with the show. We'll start with Matthew.
How I came to be involved in the show? Well,
you sort of wanted to try drama a little bit more, right?
Yes, I had been meeting with the studios and networks about developing a drama, which, drama just means more serious than comedy. And then I read this script, and it had both. It was very funny and had very dramatic elements, and it was written by Scott Silveri, who I'd worked with for a long time on Friends. Big Scott Silveri fan.
Oh, no, that is Scott.
Oh, yeah. And, so I signed on. Yeah.
How about everyone else? What was the audition process like?
Julie, was Julie cast first?
Yeah.
I think Julie was cast first.
Yeah, I guess so. Matthew had not made up his mind yet, I suppose, when they sent me the script, so I didn't even know that I should also say yes because Matthew Perry was going to do it. I just thought it was a great script, so I said, okay, I don't have much to do in the pilot, but it's just so darn interesting to me that I'd like to be on board. I'm so glad.
Anyone else?
Are we just going to...
They came to my house. They came to my house with a big golden car. This is a really loud microphone. They came to my house with a big golden car, and they got out, and they bowed in front of my door, and they begged me. They begged me.
They begged you. I believe it.
No, I auditioned.
Yeah, I think pretty much just an auditioning process. It's pilot season, and was kind of looking to maybe get back in TV again, and I actually missed the first audition. I was supposed to come in and read with Matthew once before, and I apologize. I wasted your time.
Just barely getting over it now.
Just barely. Okay. I can understand that.
Well, I mean, a lot of the show takes place sitting down. I kind of wish we were in a circle right now. It'd be a lot better.
It will be tomorrow.
It will be tomorrow. Is there an art to the act to acting while sitting? No?
God, I want to say yes so badly.
We were saying a circle.
Try the golden car thing.
Yeah. That really worked last time. I'm gonna try and top that.
Yeah.
I will say that you
no,
have
but-
to shut up. I will say that you have to be careful, careful which posture you choose for the day, because that's how you're going to be sitting for 15 hours. So that's one of the ways. And because it's in a circle, you're not always on, but you kind of always have to be present, which I think is good, because otherwise you could go a little crazy being bored if you weren't focused on being there for the other actor.
Yeah, we keep it going. We joke around. There's a wave of joking around, but then you focus, and then you joke, and then you focus. And keep, you just start. We're there for a while in those chairs, so you keep it going. But luckily, we all like each other a lot, so it's really fun.
And you hear this. Shh.
Thank you, Tonita.
Well, I heard some people refer to it as the pie of hell. Can we talk a little bit about pie of hell?
The pie of hell.
I said that. Shut up. I was speaking anecdotally.
What
does
did you
that mean?
mean?
Because we're in a little circle and they have to shoot around the pie wedge.
Oh, right, that pie.
Talk about that process, how that works. How long you're there.
It's we're there for a very long time. We're there for a very long time. In the pie hell?
The pie of hell.
Pie of hell.
All right, talk about that, Sarah.
It takes a long time. No, yeah, we're just in a circle, so they have to just shoot around the wedge. But it's not hell, it's loads of fun.
What's a big ensemble?
I call it the cake of heaven.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I don't write for the show. I just act. You're very happy about that.
Brett, I'm starting to sense that you're not all that different from your character. Can you talk a little bit about what is up with Mr. K?
What is up with him?
Yeah, what's going on with
If you're
him?
too similar to your character, you will not win awards. You have to be different.
I'm not that similar to him. No. I wish I was more like him. He
Do you
has
have
more
a
fun than I
backstory
do.
for him?
I do.
Tell me.
Really?
Yes.
But it might be in the show, so I should probably. I think that he is a lonely man who had some stuff happen to him, and then he all of a sudden broke out of his shell and found this community center and started going to all these groups, and then he found the group that he liked the best.
The cream of purgatory.
Yeah.
Wish I hadn't said it.
Yeah. It's very food-based today.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
food-based.
Starving.
Yeah.
And then he
We'll have your cake later.
And then he found, he found the group he liked the best, and then the coolest guy he had ever met walked into the room, and he became obsessed with him. And that's basically his backstory. He's a scientist. He's really
a
into
songwriter,
musicals. He's a
Electric
songwriter.
Knight.
Yeah, he's a Renaissance man. And he's pretty insane. He's pretty crazy. I'm not a lot like him in some ways, and way too much like him in other ways. Yeah.
Well, and Tyler, you came off of Everybody Hates Chris. Is there, yes, that's hot. Talk about acting without having to do schoolwork on set. What's that like?
We
No one
still
else wants
make
to answer
him
this
do
question?
schoolwork. We
This
make
is
him
it.
do schoolwork.
This is specific to me?
Yeah.
It's a lot more focused. I don't have to split my brain running for 20 minutes trying to study for SATs and come back and do these huge group scenes. So it's a lot easier. I'll give it that, and it's a lot more fun. I'm out of school now. It's great.
How did you do on your SATs?
Oh.
I did pretty well.
Awesome.
I did pretty well. I had like a 1730. I did
Isn't that
okay.
more than that's possible?
I thought 1,600 was tops. No, they changed
They
it.
changed it. They changed it. Yeah. Yeah.
You use
I'm the youngest one here, if you haven't noticed. I am the baby.
Your nickname. Tell them your nickname.
They call me baby. I don't.
The baby.
Tyler never comes up. It's just the baby I'm referred to.
Well, is anyone here jealous that Julie gets to curse and be pixelated?
Other people have as well.
Yeah, this is coming up.
Yeah, I'm just the foulest.
You're the foulest.
and
yeah.
angriest.
The angriest.
But yeah, Seth is gonna this week. You go.
I get a couple
you
of good
have
swears.
a couple of times.
Yeah, but it's not the same as when Anne does it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's sort of the id of the group in a way, and she gets
She's
to
a great swear.
yeah.
Yeah.
She
You
practices
don't
all
wanna
the time.
Give us,
You
give
don't
us
want to
a
replace those
couple.
words.
Oh, I don't think I should. It's Sunday morning. I don't really say the words. They pixelate out. I'm saying, oh, fudge. You mother fudger. Like that.
Well, Julie, let's talk about Anne. I mean, there are a lot of gay characters on TV.
Really?
But I mean, talk about how Anne broadens the scope a little bit. I mean, we see a lot of gay men, not too many.
Well, that's true. We don't. I guess there's poor Sarah Paulson's lesbian character is being tortured by Zach Quinto over on American Horror Story. But I don't see many lesbians that aren't being punished for
Talk
being
about our show.
lesbians.
Talk about our show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, but that was the only lesbian I noticed. I'm not really up on my lesbian television, but I'm really thrilled that she. And even though I'm wearing these shoes, I'm not a lesbian. But I'm lesbian adjacent. I like that the character it's not a big part. We don't address it. There's no special like lesbian coming out episode. It's just who she is. It's who she's been for years, and it doesn't seem to bother anybody or be a big deal. Although Tonita's character has not been able to process it yet and realize, and she keeps saying that I need to find the penis.
After that, she feels better. I love penis.
Wow.
What just
Es
happened?
correct. My English is good. Thank you.
Tonita, if you act too much like your character, you won't win awards.
John, you have a penis? No.
Oh.
There's
Not
no coming
since,
back. There's no
Segue.
going back.
That's my
97.
segue. Your role was originally supposed to be a guest starring stint, right? Like
Yeah.
nothing regular. Talk a little bit about how things changed.
Well, I had worked with Scott on a pilot that didn't go years ago, and it was sort of presented to me as come in and let's have fun and not think about the future. And then after the pilot, we had a really good time, and then they talked about expanding it, and it was just a gut decision for me. This guy I've grown up watching Matthew and was a huge fan, and so it was kind of a dream come true for me. And the things that they were talking about in that meeting seemed delicious. So I don't know. Here we are.
Starving.
And you guys struggle to connect in terms of on an emotional level. What's that relationship like?
Oh, right, yeah.
Right. Oh, yes. I feel like I feel like it's
The abandoned parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the abandoned parking lot.
I feel like it's really it reflects my male relationships, close friends who want to be there for one another, but find it really they're out of practice. It's they save that sort of thing for other people in their lives, and so when they're called upon to support one another, it usually turns clumsy. Mm-hmm. So I like that part of Stephen. He really is earnest and wants to wants to be there for his buddy in this time of trouble, but finds that he doesn't have the tools, and I think that's funny.
Yeah, I think the if I can dare to follow that. See, we're buddies, so we give each other, you know. I'm going to feel bad about saying that for about 3 weeks now. I really am. I'm going to send gifts to your house, a golden car. I think that one of the things that drew me to playing Ryan is that I think he would have been a somewhat shallow guy, not an introverted guy, sort of an unexplored life, had this horrible thing not happen to him. And so Stephen and Ryan had sort of bonded in that world. In the, you know, we're going to talk about sports, we're going to keep it light, and then, you know, Ryan is forced to get a little deeper to try to get over this horrible thing, and that's, Stephen has a lot of trouble adjusting to that. But in recent episodes, it gets to be closer.
That's one thing
feel
I think
bad
is
about
great
saying it.
about the show, though, is that he's not even in the group, and he's maybe slightly less fucked up than everybody that's in this group therapy. And I really do think it's great because everybody is kind of damaged and trying to get, including the leader of the group character, just kind of fucked up, which I think is totally true to life, you know?
Yeah, I think that I think a lot of the comedy of the show comes out of just by being alive, you acquire issues and you acquire painful things happen to you. It's impossible for it not to happen. And just the fact that you can reach out to other people in your life and other people being the answer to helping you through what you're going through is a great go-to that the show always displays, and it's I think is the real core of the show and keeps it real throughout the comedy. Yeah.
I think the most beautiful thing of the show Go On is real life, you know, because not all the time you laugh, not all the time you cry. It's mix, you know. Sometimes I'm sorry, Matthew.
No, yeah.
I love you guys. You know, and that's why I think the smart people, they choose in this show, because it's real life. It's drama, but it's comedy too. And it's my life. Sometimes I'm so happy, sometimes I'm so sad. And, you know, it's touching. It's drama, it's nice, and I am so happy and so grateful for work with these people. You know, they are like my family, really, really. I feel so good. And really, this is a dream come true, because one time I went to the movies and I saw Matthew over there, you know, and I told one of my kids, said, one day I'm going to work with him. And you know, and what he says, they say, oh yeah. And I said, oh yeah. And now when I start working with him, I say, oh yeah. You know, really, these people is very nice, but they are very talented. I said about Matthew when the one time they asked me, how's working with Matthew? It's really, he's a very talented guy, but it's a better human being.
It's like we
For
are
the
in a
record,
circle.
nobody's ever seen Tonita not happy, by the way.
I'm just amazed. And the most shocking part of that story was someone went to see a movie that I did.
Well, going off what Tonita said, there's a lot of comedic elements balanced off with some more emotional, somber scenes. Do you guys get to improvise a lot, and do you find that you improvise more with the comedy stuff, or sort of toning or working with the emotional stuff?
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of improv, but Matthew's good at spiking things. I feel like that's Matthew's got a writer's brain and an actor's skill set, so it's an interesting combination to watch. And it's more like pitching alternatives and less groundlingsy.
You're not.
Yeah,
We're
it's
not
very-
improvising while we're rolling, but everybody's really open to throwing out like, well, what about this tag, or what if we, you know, whether it's for our own lines or each other's or whatever. The dramatic stuff, I haven't really improvised in that regard, but Probably just because it's a little easier to think of stuff when it's fun, as opposed to like, oh, let's go here on this fucked up stuff.
Well,
It's
the
just,
scripts are so good, I don't feel
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
shoot what's written, and then sometimes we might add something. But I feel that the writing and the scripts are so strong that we can just shoot what's there, and then maybe add something for our own comfort or whatever.
I'll add things, and then it's not realizing there's only so much time in an episode. So the add-on is usually snip. Yeah, Brett, do that, sure. But the script, yeah, it's such a detailed script. I mean, it really is like a musical. There's a very musical quality to it, so you don't really want to mess with it too much because it'll throw the arc and the musical arc of the scene off. And
There's a lot to get to in 22 minutes. There's a lot of characters, and you can't. You got to be mindful of that as you're making stuff up.
yeah, you don't want to waste people's time.
Is that close to my mouth?
Well, and Laura, what's it like being part of a will they, won't they relationship?
Which
With me,
right?
right?
No, I don't. Is it a will they, won't they situation? I don't know. It's good. I don't think that that's something we've necessarily hammered home or focused on. I think audiences have seen that a lot, and they're really smart, and I think that what I like about these characters is that they, even though they're hilarious and funny, they're never caricatures, So I think that the relationship that Lauren and Ryan have is fundamentally a friendship, and she wants to help him, and he wants to be helped. And so, we'll see what happens with that. But I think that the writers have done a really good job of not pushing that down the audience's throat. I think that the audience would resent that, They're smarter than that. So there's going to be some ladies coming in for Ryan. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. That's the sexiest move you can do. It's your shoulders, and then you can do that one, too. Gentlemen really love a bony elbow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Boy, that was so close to just being so weird. I'm just saved it at the last second.
That's my thing.
Well, for everyone,
So anyway, that's the answer to the will they or won't they.
Bony elbow, that's all.
Boney elbow.
yes, but with an elbow.
Yeah.
That was super funny, you guys. Come on.
For everyone, I feel weird. So is there a character on the show that you enjoy having a scene with, or one that you wish you would have in the future? Do you like teaming up with certain people when you guys have your...
I think they're really good at, because there's so many of us, there's infinite combinations of people, and because the people are all pretty interesting, I think all the combinations are pretty interesting too, and they have done a good job at putting us together, or even blending. Like, I had some stuff with John, and they're sort of crossover that way too.
I actually I like it when Julie's character is mean to my character. I think it's really funny.
I know, but I'm about to be nice to you this week.
Okay. I like the friendship that's developing between Ryan and Mr. K. I think there's something very sweet about it, because when he first came in, I think Mr. K was the one person in the group that he was like, ugh, I don't know about this group. And now they're developing this sort of unlikely bond. I think it's very sweet.
Yeah, you get excited to work with everyone. I mean, it's great to be in a cast where there's not one at all, not just weak link, but slightly weaker link in the cast. I mean, everybody is just such an amazing actor, and so you're excited any new combination of people that you're getting to concentrate on working with.
That was one of the most fun moments I've had in rehearsal, where we were in the circle, and Laura had brought out puppets.
Oh, yeah.
And she was gonna, we had to talk to puppets, and my character obviously thought that was kind of crazy. So I looked around the room to sort of share isn't that crazy kind of look, but everybody in the cast is so crazy that there was no one to look to. So I looked around, and everybody was like, no, that's puppets, oh, that's going to be fun. I was like, no, I need to look at somebody to go, this is nuts. And then finally Tyler. But it's a way out there cast, and that's what's fun.
Suzy, do you have favorites, or?
Do I have favorite? No, there's no. I don't. I love all my children equally. I do get to hang out. Yolanda and Sonia do get to spend more time together in an upcoming episode, which should be fun. I think Yolanda is trying to reinvent herself a little bit, start over. Like when you start a new high school, when your family moves, and you're like, I can be whoever I want. That's never happened to me. I'm just saying if that happened.
It does feel good that, I mean, somewhat my relationship to you mirrors the characters, just because I was like, oh my God, I'm on a show with Matthew Perry. This is amazing, you know, and he was so great to me. We became friends, and his friendship meant as much as his support of me as an actor. And so, and to Mr. K, Ryan is his Matthew Perry, you know, and it was just like, it's great to be able to explore that, you know.
Do you have any tips for the actors in the audience on working in an ensemble as big as this? How to keep your characters from being flat in what you can do aside from what's written on the page?
It's hard to explain why, but for some reason, I think when you focus on supporting other people, I think it just highlights your own character. The way your character reacts to other people informs your character as much as what your character says and does, I think.
And we have lots of chances to just react.
Yes.
Yeah.
Acting is reacting, especially in a circle of 10 people. But I mean, I feel that, and I was sort of trained that in Chicago, we do a lot of ensemble theater, and you're trained to sort of just support, and it sounds like it's unfulfilling, but when you get in a groove and you're working with people like this, and you're supporting them and they're supporting you, it really adds to the artistic process and to the narrative and to your character and all of that stuff.
Well said.
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks.
I've never been in a cast where every cast member is as excited for another person to be funny and get the spotlight as they are for themselves to get the spotlight. Everybody really enjoys each other.
Yeah, that's a real key element to working in an ensemble. I mean, when I was a much younger actor, like my first show, I think I was 17, years old. And not just the number. Thank you, John. And I had this very young sort of mentality where I wanted to be the funny one in the show, and if somebody else was funny, I kind of resented it, and I was like, wait, no, I want to be the funny one. And it was on Friends that I realized, no, it's good that everybody's being funny, because it makes for a better show, and that's, those kind of petty jealousies just don't exist on this show. We're all really enjoying that everybody's funny. So that's
I
good.
will say that one of the cool things about this cast is that we're all a little older, and I think...
Except for the baby.
Except for the baby.
The baby.
But he's actually the most mature one out of all of us.
That's also true. It is true. But it's nice to come to work knowing that everyone is a veteran, has chops, and there aren't the competitive issues that he's talking about of youth are absent, and so it's a nice place to come to work in that way, and I think it makes the work better, the product better as a result.
And I also just, not that anybody here would need this advice, but if you find yourself with the opportunity to work with an ensemble, just, I'd say, pay attention, because I cannot tell you how much I learn every single day from so many, because there's people here with so many various kinds of experience and backgrounds, and man, oh man, do I learn a ton all the time. And it's really, just sitting there all day, it can get boring and tedious, but you learn a lot just by keeping your eyes and ears open.
What's the typical work week like? When do you get the script? How many days do you shoot? Call times? How long are you there? Warn them.
Tonita, why don't you take this one?
Thank you. Tomorrow, 4:15 in the morning. Okay?
So that's where we start.
Yeah, we start like that. And we finish like 12 o'clock midnight sometimes. That's okay, yeah? That's nice. Yeah, and the poor Matthew, he works more than everybody over here. Okay? And I think being an actor, I was thinking when I was in Mexico, I want to be an actress, and now I say, ay, mama. It's not too easy. But it's nice, it's beautiful when your dreams come through. It's the best thing happened to you. You know, my grandpa says, it's not a small role for a big actor. And now I understand what he says. You know, it's true. Sometimes you say, oh, they give me only one line. Yeah, but that line, you're a beautiful actor, you can do bigger, you know? And that's why I like very much Saibu. Okay.
There you go, Tonita.
Good throw.
I knew throwing it to you was the right move.
Good throw. It's a 5-day work week. And he works the most. The rest of us, I would say, like 3 days.
4 days.
3 or
Depends.
4. I work the least probably because I'm mostly in one world. It's a single camera, so the hours are longish.
Yeah, 14-hour days for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's great. How can you complain?
We shoot on stages most of the time.
Yeah.
Anything else?
We read what we'll do, like
A
usually in the
read-through?
yeah, we'll do a table read. Like tomorrow, we're starting to shoot a new episode, but we'll read the following episode at a table read at lunchtime
Which we'll shoot next week.
because it's after the one that we.
You're getting the idea of what it's like to be in the circle with them all the time.
And they don't always air the episodes in the order that we shoot them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, Brett.
And we come there in the morning and we get our makeup and our hair done.
That's right.
Well,
Yes.
tell them how you get
Then
there. How do you
I
get? How do you
take
get
off the
from your
clothes
house?
that I wear in my usual life. I put on the character's clothes.
That's right.
Otherwise known as a costume.
What do you like for lunch?
Me? I get so hungry, I really carbo load at lunch. I will eat a mountain of pasta, which is not what I'm going to be doing coming back because I want to.
Oh, changing up the diet.
I am, yeah.
I will tell you this about dining with Brett. It was episode 3, I believe, where I just decided I'm going to stop telling him that there's food in his beard. I'm just going to stop because it's too much. So for 3 weeks, I go, Brett, you got a little something there. Oh, okay, sorry. And then episode 3, I just went, fuck it.
Yeah, I don't have the best table manners, and my beard makes me have horrible table manners. It's nothing worse than food in your beard. It really is. Even though I can't see myself, I know how disgusting it looks. But I do wash my beard.
Okay, here we go.
And
Winding down now.
For everyone, what sort of prep work did you do before taking on this role? Did you go to therapy groups or?
I did. Yeah. I went.
not for the role.
No, I just went for my life. I just went to work through some stuff. Didn't really happen. No, I went and I watched some group leaders in their environment. And my dad actually he's a psychotherapist and a holistic health counselor, and he runs a group every Tuesday night, ironically. And now they watch our show afterwards, which is really yeah.
Is that ethical? Is he allowed to make
Absolutely
people watch
not.
his
He's going to
daughter's
be
show?
fired. Yeah, no, he's going to lose his job. Thanks for bringing that up. So I talked to him a lot about it. But the trick for me is that she doesn't have tons of qualifications. She's very well intentioned, but so we want her to be good enough that it makes sense that these people are coming back to this group. But she can't be so good that it's like, okay, well, you're healed, goodbye, because then what happens? And also, it's just more interesting that she has her own foibles. So I did go to group therapy. I did talk to my dad. I did try to understand how people run a group, and then tried to forget it from there. Let it be more human.
Anyone else?
It was really interesting approaching it, because for, I think, 3/4 of the pilot, I was silent. So there wasn't really a lot to go off of. But I think Scott and John did a really good job of just making the event as specific as possible. And that's really what it was just building the character off of what I had and, what was given. And making sure that, that visual of, how, Owen is one of those characters that, as the season progresses, we begin to learn more about, but his issues aren't really touched on a lot. Because, I think in a way he plays off of Matthew's character and, trying to avoid, the feelings that he's dealing with. So it was really interesting just, finding the line in between that, where he's dealing with a lot, but he's, one of the few people in the group who hasn't really lost anything yet. His brother's not dead, and he's not quite alive, so he's in this like middle ground. So it was definitely one of the more challenging things I've ever done. Not having a lot of information and just kind of having to build off of that.
Yeah, for me, to bring a sense of reality to all the crazy things that Mr. K says and does, for me, I think the most important thing was to tap into I think it comes from a real desperation to be liked by the group and to finally enter into society. And I can really relate to that feeling of feeling outside of things and really wanting to be a part of the norm. So that's the big thing that I go off of.
We had a little bit of luxury on our pilot. We did rehearse, and we did sort of sit around. And as much as I kind of hated it, it was valuable to sort of do an improv group. And then also one-on-one talk with Scott about like where we were coming from, like what backstory you already had in your head, and kind of checking it out and being, is this right, is this right, is this right? And my character has kids, so I did meet with this gal, Jennifer Chrysler, who's the head of the Family Equality Council, about what it's like to be a lesbian parent, what it's like when you lose your partner, what are the laws, et cetera, et cetera. But it was nice to get to rehearse, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to some audience questions. This question's for Julie from Tamar. Coming from New York theater background, are you and Laura enjoying the sitcom experience?
Please speak for me.
I'm not, but Laura is.
Good answer.
Well, I can't speak for Laura, but yes, I'm having a great time, and I really like that it's single camera, so it's not the multi-camera thing. I did one of those for a long time, and then I did a pilot of one of those like last year, and I thought, oh, this feels squirrely. I feel kind of stupid. But I don't feel so stupid doing this. I might look stupid, but I don't feel so stupid. What do you think?
That was not a question for me, so I refuse.
Tamar, you meant her too.
I'm kidding. It's great. I love it. It's amazing. It's fun. Glad to be doing it.
And this question's from Julie. I don't think it's...
Yeah, it was from me. No, I'm kidding.
It says it's for Brett, but I think this can also be for everyone. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you were starting out? Any advice for auditioning?
My biggest advice for auditioning is knowing that the audition process is complete chaos. I mean, when I was younger, I tried to make sense of the business side of things, and you're just going off of, you can't make sense of guessing what other people's opinions are going to be. They're not necessarily going to match your own, and the only thing you can do is really commit to the character you're auditioning for. I mean, it's obvious, but and just try not to take it too personally when you don't get the job again. and again and again. I mean, it just, it happens right when it happens. Also, I mean, the big, like, you know, I tested for a pilot the year before, and I didn't get it, and I was so crushed. And then that show went on, and it's still on, and I'm so grateful that I didn't get cast in that.
What is it?
because
What
I
is
was
it? What is it?
gonna
What
miss.
is it? What is it? What is it? What is it?
What is it?
It's
is it?
Duck Dynasty. No.
Duck Dynasty.
I won't say what it is. I don't want to. You know, it's a great show.
He'll tell me, and then
I'll tell you.
that.
But this is the show that I would want to be on. The top show that I would want to be on. And so
I would say, oh, sorry,
ahead,
John.
go ahead.
I would say too that one of the things that clicked for me that helped me was that they want you to be the right person for the part. Like you feel like you're approaching the enemy and you're trying to convince somebody that you're good, and they're just looking for somebody to fill the role. They hope it's you, and then their job is over. So I don't know. That made a big difference to me. And going into the room, like, oh no, they want me to do well because they want to be done.
Yeah, I think as an actor, you have this misconception that everybody else knows what's going on and you don't. And I've heard this from multiple different kinds of people in the business, executives and writers. Nobody really knows what's going on. Nobody has a firm idea of exactly how everything's going to work. And, you know, I think I learned at some point to just treat every audition as an opportunity to perform and then move on and not really think about it. Because sometimes that's the only time you get to act during the week, is you get to go, you do your little few minutes. And so if you can somehow trick yourself, I know it's very difficult, trick yourself mentally into, like, I'm not trying to get this job, but I'm trying to have fun in this 5 minutes that I get with these people, it just takes some of the sting out of it, because as you guys know, you can drive yourself insane by saying, I need this fucking money. Oh my God, if I get into it's done. You know what I mean? For me, it's done if I have that attitude. But if I go in and just sort of like, I have no control over this except for the next 5 minutes, and then I'm going to try to have fun, and then, you know, treat myself to a mocha or something afterwards.
I had I mean, everyone has their own mechanics, as you can tell, but for me, I had to finally let go of wanting the audition to be acting, and I feel like auditioning and acting are similar, but two completely different skill sets, and you sort of have to approach acting in an audition in a very specific way, and don't expect someone to react, and don't expect to look at anyone in the eyes, and so you have to kind of come up with this system that works in a very bizarre circumstance, and embrace that. But if you kind of expect it to be acting, you'll be disappointed and won't do well. I think you have to expect adversity in that room.
And just like a couple of technical things, you want to memorize all the lines.
Always.
And you want to carry the sides but never look at them. Because this is something my dad told me, but I really think this is true, because the whole idea, like, oh, I don't really know my lines, I barely know my lines, aren't I interesting? When you're a showrunner, that's not interesting. Yeah. So just the technical thing is you want to memorize all the lines, you want to have the sides in your hand but not really look at them. Those are the technical things, and try to stay out of the results, I guess.
And do something in the audition that surprises them. Not like necessarily an ad lib.
Yeah.
Take your pants off.
Something physical. Yeah.
I agree with that. You want not the pants off thing necessarily, but you want to find a line or two where you can do something original that the other 30 guys have come in and haven't done.
Yeah, react between the lines. Don't just act when you're saying your lines. React when, especially if it's a conversation. It goes back to reacting. But, you're acting, you should be present 100% of the time, and that includes when you're not speaking. or when you're walking or entering or sitting or whatever.
I have a
you're still
question.
there.
When they say, you want me to stand or sit? And then they go, your choice. What do you
Well,
do?
make a choice. Make it, acting is your
I
job.
feel like they
You-
always want you to stand, but is that
most of my characters sit.
I sit every time. I think it's a mistake.
Whatever serves that scene or the character or whatever. Whatever makes you most comfortable.
You have a real different energy when you're standing, though.
Yeah.
It depends on the scene. If
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an energy of discomfort.
It's the worst. I mean, the other thing about auditioning is it's terrible. It's so awful, and you have to know that going in. You can't be like, this is gonna really make my day. No, I mean, I've gotten jobs off of auditions that sent me into a horrible depression, and I got the job. So, and I've walked out of auditions where hey, that was good, and never heard from those people again. So it's just it doesn't make any
forward to the
sense.
mocha.
Just look forward to the mocha.
Oh, and one more technical thing. This is a good one. As soon as you're done, leave. Like, get out. Don't be like, what do you, so how are you guys? As soon as you're finished, go. Like, let them go and have to catch you in the hallway if they want you, but don't linger.
All right, guys.
Stuff.
Well, thanks
Good
so much
stuff.
for taking the time. Thank you, guys.
Good, all right.
And thank you for the cake. Whoever brought me cake, thank you so much.
yeah.
I love the cake.
Birthday to
Speech, speech.
Are you one? Are you two? Are you three? Are you four? Thank you for coming.
What's your
Happy birthday.